I'll call this council meeting to order at 6 o'clock, Tuesday, May the 9th. I would ask that all of you make sure that your cell phones are in the off position. We will begin our first order of business by offering the invocation. Mr. Fine has asked that Mr. Andrew offer that, and it will be followed by the pledge led by Chief Smith, and you may stand if you wish.
May we be in prayer. Gracious and almighty God, we pause just to give you thanks. Thanks for the rain, for the fact that it creates. Thanks for this city, this community. Thanks for those people who work here and give so much of themselves. We ask for your guidance for those who are in leadership positions. Be with us tonight as we make decisions. Give us discernment, wisdom, and your grace. Most of all, God, we just thank you for the fellowship and the friendship and the community of which we are blessed to be a part. In these things, we ask your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Item number 1 is announcements of community interest. And Ms. Berry, you may approach the podium, but before we begin, I'd like to make the first announcement that I think would be very appropriate this evening, and that is the introduction of our new city manager. As you all probably know, the City Council began the process of hiring a new city manager last November by engaging the services of a consultant, Chris Hartung, to help us develop a profile for a city manager that we all felt would not only fit the professional profile that we desired, but would personally be a great fit for the community as well. And from that, we received over 40 applications. Let me say there were many qualified candidates. I'm sure council would agree. But from the beginning, I think we all agreed that this candidate was by far the most qualified and the most appropriately experienced for what our community currently needed. The man I will introduce to you has been serving as Assistant City Manager for the City of Dallas since 2014. Prior to his service there, he served as Budget Officer in Denton, Assistant Manager at Lake Jackson, City Manager of Woodway, Assistant Manager of Corpus Christi, Assistant and City Manager of Tyler from 2005 to 2014 until he accepted the position in Dallas, from which he comes to us now. He has a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, a Master of Public Administration degree from the University of North Texas, and kind of gray hair. I just threw that in. He is experienced in historical preservation, annexation, economic development, strategic comprehensive planning, water development, public infrastructure improvements, and public relations. And all of this, and amazingly, he's barely over 25 years of age. Ladies and gentlemen, would you join me in welcoming Mr. Mark McDaniel?
Mayor, thank you so much for that kind introduction and welcome. And I already feel at home here and with all of you. And thank you all at the dais for hiring me. And I also look forward to a fresh start with the new city council that's just recently been elected. And we're going to go to work right off the bat. We've already scheduled as of today a retreat for the newly formed council. And I just couldn't be happier to be here with you today and also for the next several years if you'll have me. So I'm happy to serve at your pleasure and look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The City of Kerrville is still accepting applications for lifeguards to work at the Olympic pool this summer. Applicants must be at least 15 years old and available to work regularly from late May through the end of July. The starting pay is now $10 an hour, and training is provided through the Parks and Recreation Department. Applications are available at City Hall or online at kerrvilletx.gov. Registration for summer swim lessons are also now open. 3 sessions of group swim lesson classes will be offered again this summer, as well as private swim lessons for anyone who's interested. This is a great way to introduce your infant to the water, learn basic swimming techniques, or refine skills, as classes are offered for all skill levels from beginner to advanced. Each 2-week group session runs Tuesday through Friday and is only $35. For more information, please contact the Kerrville Parks and Recreation Department at 830-257-7300. The Kerrville Police Department collected 291 pounds of expired, unused, or unwanted pharmaceutical drugs during the annual drug take-back event that was held on Saturday, April 22nd. So thank you so much to all of you who participated in that. Also, please join us on Monday, May 15th at 9 a.m. for a police memorial service at the Kerrville Police Department in honor of both National Police Week and Peace Officer Memorial Day. The City of Kerrville is also now accepting applications for individuals interested in serving on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council during the next school year. This program provides an overview of municipal government, empowers youth to become active members in their community, and encourages each member to have an everlasting effect on the future of the city. The Mayor's Youth Advisory Council is composed of 15 regular members and 3 alternates. Regular meetings are held on the second Thursday of each month at 4:30 p.m. and applicants must be Kerr County residents and enrolled in grades 9 through 12 for the 2017-2018 school year. And for more information about applying, you can visit our website, kerrvilletx.gov. And finally tonight, we are pleased to announce that another important portion of the annual street maintenance program is now underway. The city's contractor, Intermountain Slurry Seal, has started the treatment of many local roads in addition to the regular work of the city street department. Overall, City Council has authorized a 60% increase in annual roadway maintenance funding to help improve the quality of local maintained streets and preserve and improve their condition. As a result of that, you may encounter some brief road closures around town this summer, so please bear with our hardworking crews as they work to improve our roads. If you would like additional information about any of the planned improvements, a projected schedule for the 2017 year is posted on our website, kerrvilletx.gov.
And I'd like to add that next Tuesday, a week from today at 10 o'clock a.m., I guess that would be the 16th, we will have the swearing in of the new council members and a reception following for outgoing and incoming. And since it's not on another place on the agenda, there will be a recognition there of the outgoing and incoming. But I'm not sure if Mr. Andrew and Mr. Fine will be able to be here. So I would like to recognize them tonight and thank them for their service to the community. If you would join me in thanking them, I'd appreciate it. Are there any other announcements from council? If not, item number 2A is a proclamation proclaiming May as Williams Syndrome Awareness Month. And we do have recipients in our audience this evening, so I would like to ask Laura Walters, who will be receiving the proclamation, and her deaf support specialist, Ada Brown, to come forward, please. I will read the proclamation this evening. Whereas Williams syndrome is a rare genetic development disorder that is present at birth and affects many parts of the body, and whereas Williams syndrome occurs randomly in about 1 in 10,000 births worldwide, with an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 in the United States, and whereas Williams syndrome is characterized by medical and cognitive problems, including cardiovascular disease, developmental delays, learning disabilities, and occurs equally in both males and females and in every culture. And whereas the Williams Syndrome Association, founded in 1982, is a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive resources for people and families living with Williams syndrome, as well as doctors, researchers, and educators. And whereas through its efforts to raise public awareness, fund critical new research, share valuable information, and support families, the WSA has improved the quality of life and futures of those affected by Williams syndrome. And whereas the Williams Syndrome Association, as well as the families and friends of those with Williams syndrome, should be commended for their hard work, compassion, and commitment to educating our communities about this rare disorder. Now, therefore, I, Bonnie White, Mayor of the City of Kerrville, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Williams Syndrome Awareness Month. If you'd like to say a word, yes.
First of all, I would love to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, who is very much in my life. And second of all, I would like to thank you, Mayor, for this honor and for letting me speak to you and to those who are in our city about Williams syndrome. I was first diagnosed when I was 14, and I'm 53 now. I'm married. I'll be married 25 years, June the 12th. Oh, now I'm nervous. I'm sorry. Some people do not understand what Williams syndrome is, and that's why I'm here. I have been open about my syndrome for many years with people, and also with organizations and other places that want to know about Williams syndrome. There is another lady here in Kerrville who has it, but she is afraid to come out, but I'm not. I want people to know about Williams syndrome. There are places, especially the Special Opportunity Center. I was a client there for a long time before I got married. They do a lot for those who are mentally and physically disabled. Also, I am part of the mental health community as well. This is also Mental Health Awareness Month. I do suffer from deep depression and also panic attacks. I also would like to invite City Hall in October to come. I am having a picnic, and I would be honored if y'all could make it. I'm having a picnic, a bake sale, and a silent auction. With the Williams syndrome, we're very outgoing. We love people. Our reading and math are not that good, but we do okay with it. Music is one of our favorite things. I have friends that can play drums and sing and everything. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry I got nervous.
That's all right, Ms. Walters. Thank you so much for coming. That's great. That sounds fine. Thank you very much. Item number 3 on the agenda, 3A, 3B, and 3C are listed on the consent agenda. Does any member of council wish to remove any of the items? If not, I would accept a motion to approve.
Move approved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve items 3A, 3B, 3C. All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4A is the second reading of ordinance number 2017-12, amending Chapter 74 Parks and Recreation of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kerrville, Texas, by amending Article 2, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, to increase the number of members from 8 to 9, and to clarify the responsibilities and expectations of the board, containing a cumulative clause, containing a savings and severability clause, and providing other matters related to the subject. I understand there have been no changes from the first reading. Any questions by council, comments? Then I would accept.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2017-12. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5A is resolution number 14-2017, authorizing the conveyance of city-owned real estate to the Palacios del Guadalupe Owners Association, Inc., a Texas nonprofit corporation in accordance with state law and city policy. Said property generally located at 521 Guadalupe Street and comprising approximately .526 of 1 acre tract of land, being a portion of Lot 1, Block 1 of the Palacios del Guadalupe subdivision. Mr. Hoppy?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. As the Mayor stated, this was a 6.52 acre parcel of land that the city acquired mid-2016. At that time, it was noted with the council that really the top half acre from the sidewalk seam up the retaining wall and the fence, as well as a common area, really did not provide a tremendous value to the city, but that at the time that was the parcel as it was surveyed and being sold. And so the intent has always been to convey that property to the folks who it provides the most value to, which is really the private condominium owners. So we have been working with the condominium association over the course of this winter and spring to move towards that conveyance, and that is what is before you tonight. This is a visual, as you can see, where the suggested property line will shift to is the seam right there along the sidewalk, between the sidewalk and the footing for the retaining wall. Everything, this is going to the right of the picture is going north. You see the retaining wall as well as the fence, and then the existing property line falls back into the grassy area, just kind of randomly into the common areas of the condominium. You can see it better outlined here between the bubbled lines. It is 0.526 of 1 acre out of the 6.52 acre tract. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I think the only change since we had it on the agenda once before and we deferred it to clarify some points, and we've done that, and I don't know that we don't have it in our packets, but the one question I had was, were there any minutes or letters from the Property Owners Association formally making the request? And I understand that Mr. Cobb is here this evening, and he does have that paperwork so that it has been approved formally by the Homeowner Association. Any other questions by council? Any comments by the public? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and 2 seconds. All in favor to pass resolution number 14-2017. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 6A is appointments to boards and commissions. Ms. Craig?
We have 5 terms that expired on March 31st this year, and we have 10 applications from persons, and all meet the minimum qualifications for this board. Council members Glenn Andrew and Warren Ferguson were the interview team, and they requested the item be on this agenda.
Okay.
Yes. The 3 that are staying over are Jackie Kane, Jay Munson, and Greg Schrader. 3 are being reappointed, Jim Gardner, Diane Nahan, and Bedford Mitchell, and 3 new members to the board, Lisa Nye, Rose Bradford, and John Harrison, are recommended by Mr. Andrews and myself as the new members. I move their appointments.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion?
We had some, Mr. Conlon, we had some wonderful applicants.
Oh, yeah.
They were point at this point. We hope they will stay interested and offer themselves later on.
Okay. Any other comments? I did look through all of them as well. I had a question. Were these all these candidates, applicants interviewed by the team?
All that we could get a hold of.
Okay. Okay, there were a number.
There was an email today.
Pardon me?
There was an email today from one of them.
We did.
Yes, and I talked to her at length
Good.
shortly after another board meeting was over. Yeah, I returned her call
Good.
as soon as I got out of a meeting.
Because there were some that had previous parks experience on here that I thought might have been considered. But if that's the board's recommendation, is there any further discussion? If not, I would entertain. This is a motion, and did we have a second?
Yes.
Yes.
You had the second motion and second. All in favor, raise your hands for the appointments to the parks. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 7 is Visitors and Citizens Forum. I had no request handed to me from Ms. Craig. So I will move to item number 8, items for future agendas. Does any council member have an item to consider for a future agenda?
I just encourage someone on council to continue to work with Chief Knight with regards to the texting ordinance, and Mr. Hayes to please get that ordinance finished, and I think it needs to be enacted as soon as possible and as strongly as possible.
We discussed it, Mr. McDaniel and I did at our first
I'm
meeting.
just saying, you asked me, so.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Anyone else?
Mayor, may I
Yes.
comment on that?
Yes, sir.
So we've been working on developing a future agenda listing for you all so that you have a lot of lead time in terms of knowing what's coming down the pipeline. It's going to be tentative. I'm going to try to get that out to you tomorrow. And so please understand it's very much of a draft where we've tried to plug items in over the next 3 to 4 months, and then pending. One of them is the item that Mr. Fine brought up, as well as several others, so that you know that they're on the radar, they're coming, and we can have some discussion about those along the way.
Okay, anything else? All right. Well, item number 9 we don't need because we don't have any need to go into executive session. And this may be the shortest meeting we've had so far. So item number 11 is adjournment. We'll adjourn at 6:22, and thank you all so much for coming. And again, thank you for your service, gentlemen.